guys, and welcome back to my channel and welcome to today's video. Today we're going to be setting up our March sinking funds. In today's video, I'm just going to be putting in what we're adding for sinking funds. I'm not going to include our beginning balance because February is not done yet. I like to film these videos and get our March budget or our, the next month's budget ready. But I usually don't close our sinking funds until a little bit closer towards the end of the month. And since we still have about 4 days left, I'm gonna just leave them right now and then I will move them over later. But if you want to see what we normally carry in our sinking funds in terms of balances and stuff like that, the best place to see that would probably be my weekly check-ins, because I do check in to our sinking funds every single week to see how we're doing, just to make sure that, I'm recording all my transactions and that if anything big is happening that we're aware of it. So I am using my kits from my Etsy shop. I do have it linked down below. I personally love using stickers. I feel like stickers, paper, and pen, that's just my thing. I've been doing this for about 4 years now, and in those 4 years things have changed so much. Life in general has changed so much. But one of the nice things is that with being so on top of our budget and with finding a solution that works for us, I was able to quit my accounting job, do my business full time, which has been honestly like an unexpected blessing. I never even thought this was something that I wanted, let alone possible. So I feel like a lot of that has to do with the fact that we have been really diligent about keeping track of our finances. We make sure that we put together a budget, we track every single dollar, and I know for some people that sounds ridiculous, but it really does work. And once you know what's going on with your money, it's really easy to make decisions like, quitting a salaried job to become a business owner. So anyway, I just figured I'd mention that because I know some people probably think it's silly to be using a notebook and using stickers to put together a budget, but it works for me. It has worked for me for, almost 4 years now. So the main thing is just finding what works best for you, especially with budgeting, because I feel like budgeting is so important for everybody, no matter what stage you're in. So just find what works best for you. And if paper and pen and stickers don't work, that is completely okay. So let's go ahead and get into all of our budget sinking fund categories. So we have about 20 categories right now. So I'm going to start by just putting those all in. I'll talk about what they all entail and all of that fun stuff. So the first one is beauty, and beauty for me includes like my foundation. I really don't use a ton of makeup, but I do use Clinique foundation. I use the Almost powder, and I love that stuff. It honestly is like wearing no makeup. I feel like I have no makeup on, and when it rubs off, because I have kids and they're always touching my face, it doesn't look like it rubbed off. Like it doesn't, I guess what I should say is I don't think it rubs off that much, because towards the end of the day my face looks exactly the same as when I first put it on. So I do buy foundation that is from Clinique, and then I also use their acne solutions face wash, and that is what is included in beauty. We next have car insurance. We decide to pay our car insurance every 6 months. We prepay it and we get a pretty good discount doing so. So we have our car insurance in here. In February it came out, so we'll just be building it back up. Next is going to be car maintenance. So this is for like oil changes, new tires, anything like that. We do have 2 pretty new cars. Mine is a 2013 Prius. And I know 2013, like that was 8 years ago, but in my mind, it's still brand new. So we don't plan on getting rid of either vehicle. If anything, we may trade in one in the future. Like if we want to, get a bigger car or something like that, we may trade in my car, but we have no reason to do that right now. We have a small car for when it's just one of us, and then we have a family car. So that is what we have. And honestly, I would love if like when Macy and Mila start driving that they could drive my Prius. I don't know if it's gonna stick around for that long, but I feel like that would be really fun to just let them have, a little cute car to drive around in. So anyway, cart maintenance for all of those fun things. Next we have car tags. So every year in Illinois you have to get a new like sticker for your car. It's basically like re-registering your car, and so we put a little bit of money away every single month so that when those come due we have the money. Next is chapbooks. So we use chapbooks as a way to print pictures for the girls. So you get a book, it has 60 pages, and you can, it's really honestly the easiest thing ever. You legit, like on your iPhone or whatever device you have, you favorite it. Once the app, like once you favorite it, the app pulls it in, and then when you have 60 pictures, it says, hey, we're gonna print this soon, make sure you like everything, all the pictures you want are in there, and then it prints and it comes to your house, and it's the easiest thing. I think it's like $10. We have over 20 of them for Macy, and I think we have like 3 or 4 for Mila right now, but it is amazing. I feel like it's gonna be really fun when the girls are older to have pictures of themselves, like they can show their kids or, you know, whatever. I personally have no pictures of myself as a kid. Like I think maybe we have a couple that like someone shared on Facebook or something. And I just really wanted to make it a point that when the girls are older, they have lots of pictures of themselves. Next is going to be Christmas and gifts. So pretty much self-explanatory, but this includes like birthdays, any type of holidays, obviously Christmas. Christmas is like the biggest chunk of it, but we do also, you know, anything related to birthdays for like family members or, you know, holidays and stuff like that are included there. Next we have clothes, and we do break out clothes by each person. So we have clothes for Jason, clothes for the girls, and then clothes for myself. It's kind of nice because so like I was saying, it's kind of nice because we really don't have to buy a ton of clothes for Mila. We gave away a lot of Macy's clothes when she was like a newborn, probably all the way up until she was like 1. But then we held on to a bunch of her clothes after that point. So Mila has a dresser full of clothes from Macy. Some of them are a little big, some of them fit perfect, but we won't have to buy any clothes and maybe even no shoes for Mila. But Macy, of course, because, you know, we don't have clothes in her size, we do have to buy stuff for Macy. So it's kind of nice because we can buy like nicer things and pass them down to Mila. Of course, in my mind, nicer things, it's really just like stuff from Target, but it's just kind of nice now that like we can actually reuse some of that stuff. And I have a lot of clothes downstairs that I need to bring to like a resale place, you know, that were Mila's. We don't plan on having any more kids, so there's no point in holding on to any clothes. But it's kind of nice with the clothes that really we're just buying stuff for Macy at this point. So like I said, we have clothes for all of us. Then we have our Costco membership. So I know a lot of people choose to do like a Costco sinking fund where they put aside money so when they have a big Costco trip, they can fund that. Some people do that same thing with like Amazon. This is strictly for our Costco membership. So it's $60 per year. We put away $5 per month. That way when it comes due, it's not like a $60 bill. So I know that's, again, super small amount, but I like our budget to be as smooth as possible, so smoothing it out and even like $5 here and there really makes a huge difference. Now the lighting's gonna come in and be kind of awkward, but that's okay. Next is gonna be diapers. So Mila is going to be in diapers for quite a while, and usually when we are buying diapers, we're buying them in bulk. So we put, you know, I think it's $100 per month aside. I don't think that we'll ever need that much per month, but it's just kind of nice to have that money there just in case we do stock up. Next is going to be entertainment. So this is really for like going to the movies, going ice skating, going skiing, anything like that. We don't really do a ton of that nowadays. Usually when we're using this money, it's for like renting a movie on demand or something like that, but that is what the money is there for. Next is family pictures. So we do like to get family pictures taken every year, usually around the fall time. And we also take like Macy's school pictures from here. Or if I were to like print some pictures for our living room, I would take the money from here as well. So family pictures. Next we have golf. This is for Jason. Jason's really big into golf, and during the summer, I guess spring, summer, fall, he likes to go quite a bit, so we put a little bit aside so that when he goes, he has some money set aside. He also gets an allowance, so this is definitely not going to cover all of his golf-related expenses, but it's something so that he's not using all of his allowance just for golf. Jason has actually, we've been talking a lot about like me buying books because I have been like seriously buying so many books lately, and I'm trying to find a way to make it like cost effective, because I feel like it's really easy to spend my entire allowance on books. And Jason's like, why don't you just put together like a book sinking fund? Like you can get $100 per month for books. And I'm like, that's just too much. Like, I know that we can do it, and I know that we put money aside for golf for him, but I feel like it's like a hobby for me, and I want to be able to use my allowance for it. I don't want to be spending like a ton of money. So I'm still working out, trying to figure out what I want to do when it comes to books and the great solution for that. I have been doing stuff with our library, like getting like audiobooks and stuff, but I do definitely prefer like reading, not necessarily listening. So we'll see. But anyway, golf is there. Next we have home maintenance, and you're gonna see we're actually adding quite a bit to home maintenance. There's some projects that we wanna get done to the house before we list it, and honestly before we even reach out to a real estate agent, because there's just little things that like, it might make your house look not as nice if those things aren't done. So for example, when we were moving some stuff from the basement upstairs, we messed up our door a little bit. So I think we're gonna try and like repair that, maybe even replace it. We have the same blinds in every room except for in Macy's, because Macy's room was the first room that we added blinds to. And we have the nice ones that are like, you pull them down and then you push them up, like there's no cords or anything. You guys have probably seen it if you watched my day in the lives, but Macy has the old ones that like you pull and then you have to like pull it out and it rolls up. It's just horrible. We never open up her blinds. So we're gonna be replacing those and just little projects like that. But that's why we're adding a little bit more, just so that we can get our house ready to sell. And it's little things that bother us. Again, it's not something that we have to do, but we figure it might help a little bit with selling our house. So we're gonna do that. Next is medical. So throughout the year, we may have like medical expenses. Jason will go and get an echocardiogram for his heart condition. Then he'll have like a follow-up visit with them. And then occasionally if the girls are sick, we have to take them to the doctor. But besides that, we really don't have a ton of medical expenses. So we're just putting a little bit aside so that if, you know, when we do have doctor's visits, we're not having unbudgeted items. Of course, if Jason needs heart surgery, this is definitely not gonna cover that. We have like a whole emergency fund and savings and stuff for that, but this is just for like little bills here and there. Next, we have tolls. So in Illinois, we have something called an I-Pass. I don't know how common it is. I know like New York has something similar, but we put a little bit aside so that when that replenishes, we have money there. Next is trash. So we have two bills, like two utility bills in our sinking funds. One is trash and the other one is water. Trash is paid every 3 months. Water and sewer is paid every 2 months. And so instead of having, again, another like $100 bill every couple of months, I decide to smooth out our budget as much as possible and just have, you know, a third or half of that put away every month. Next is vacation. So this is for when we finally have the time and it's safe to travel. We don't have any immediate plans to go anywhere. I'm guessing this will just build up until things are a little bit back to normal. And also when I hire somebody, because it's almost impossible to take vacations. Like we went on a little house hunting excursion recently and I took some time off from work, and I'm telling you guys, I have been behind for a while because of that. So I definitely don't think, like, even if things are a little bit back to normal, I don't think that I can do it, because taking off time just means that I get behind. Like, I can do it if I'm here and I work like most days, but I definitely need to hire someone if I want to go on vacation. So that is something that is in the works. We just have to figure out house stuff first. So I'm gonna go ahead and draw my lines in, and then we can add in what we're adding for the month. So I try and keep this as consistent as possible. I put together a whole like rough draft. Not a rough draft. I put together a whole 2021 sinking funds video, and I really wanted to stick to that as much as possible, just because I feel like it's always kind of nice to have, again, that consistency through your budget. But one thing, you know, one thing that we added, one thing that we took away, and then sometimes you occasionally have to add a little bit more money to one of these funds. So I like to put together a 2021 budget or whatever year it is just to give myself an idea of what to expect, but it's okay to change things. It's okay to increase, decrease things. It's not supposed to be like a set in stone budget. I just wanted to quickly mention that because you guys will see this is more than what my like monthly sinking fund contribution was supposed to be according to that 2021 budget. So for beauty, I always do $50 per month. I don't think I've used this money, but again, when I pick up stuff for like beauty, like when I'm buying foundation or face wash, I just stock up. Like I'll get a bunch at one time so I don't have to go to the store again, or if I don't have to like pay for shipping again. Next is car insurance. So we do $150 per month. I think that like the next time that we pay car insurance, I may decrease this. Honestly, it could probably be like $130, but I do like to have a little bit extra in there just in case. Next is car maintenance, and we do $50 per month. At some point, we may need to increase this. As our cars get older, we may need to, but for right now, it seems to be a good amount. Next is car tags, and that is $35 per month. I just want to see really quick. So if we do 35 times 12, that's 420, and honestly, the car tags are probably 150, maybe a little bit more. So we'll see as money starts coming out of the car tags, and we'll get a better idea if that's too much or too little. I know that it raised like recently, so I just want to make sure that we have enough in that account. Next is chat books, and I do $10 for that every month. And honestly, we don't get books every month. I would say we get books maybe every 3 months, maybe even every 4 months. Like I have not been taking pictures at all because what is there to take pictures of? Like we're not doing anything. So we're definitely gonna have a lot in there for when things get back to normal and we can take lots of pictures and go and do lots of things. Next is Christmas and gifts, and we do $250 per month. This has been a pretty decent amount for us. Next is clothes. So clothes we'll do $50 per person. So $50 for Jason, $100 for both girls, and then $50 for me. Costco is $5 per month. Diapers is going to be $100. Entertainment, we have been doing $50 per month. Family pictures, $25. Golf is $25. Home maintenance, like I said, we're going to be doing more. Normally we do $50, and once we get like a different house and we move, we'll definitely have more of a method to why we're doing certain amounts for the home maintenance fund. Like, you know, this is not our end goal house. This hasn't been for a really long time. So if we were going to stay here, I would probably start doing like 1% of our house value per year or something like that. But because we know that we're going to sell this house, it doesn't make a ton of sense to do that because hopefully there's not a ton that we need to fix before we end up selling. But we will definitely be doing that with a new house. We are going to be adding $300 this month, and this is going to be for, again, those blinds, paint, stuff like that. Medical is going to be $50. Tolls is going to be $10. Trash, $30. Vacation is $250. And then water is going to be $50. So that brings us to a total of $1,640. So that is everything in terms of our sinking funds. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to set up our transaction log. Did I do that on the wrong side? I feel like I did. Have I been doing? Yeah. That's okay. Sometimes I switch things around, and you can see the bad light now, but sometimes I switch stuff around and then I forget that I switched it around, and I know why I did it, because writing on this coil for the ending is not fun, but that's okay. It's just 1 month, 1 month's worth of doing that. So I'm just gonna go ahead and put my transaction log. I get a lot of questions about how I keep track of our sinking funds, all of that fun stuff. So I'm gonna really quickly just talk about that as I'm setting this up. So for our normal expenses, I track those on my monthly view, or in my monthly view. And that is because everything that comes out of like our normal budget comes out of our like checking account. So we'll use our Discover credit card. We pay it off completely at the very end of the month, but we'll use our Discover credit card, and then, you know, as it comes due, we'll pay that using our like regular checking account. When it comes to sinking funds though, our sinking funds are in a separate checking account. So I keep the total balance. So let's say we had no beginning, then we would keep the $16.40 in a separate checking account. And what I like to do is I just use our credit card for everything. So sinking funds, like normal variable expenses, everything. So I will true it up at the end of the month, but I keep track of what we have in our sinking funds using this whole spread here. So these are going to be all of the transactions, anything that we spend out of sinking funds. At the end of the month, I will highlight each one. I'll put in what we spent, what the ending amount is, and I'll true it up. Hopefully that makes sense. I don't keep the sinking funds in separate accounts because I don't think that's super necessary for the way that I do it. And I don't keep like this amount in our normal checking account because in my mind with sinking funds, it's kind of like a little mini savings account. And I consider this money gone as soon as it goes into our sinking funds because I don't want to ever be like, oh no, I don't want to buy I don't want to buy clothes because it's going to be too expensive. Because in my mind, it's like you need clothes. Jason needs clothes, the girls need clothes, I need clothes. That's just a necessity, like you have to wear clothes. And so I never want to, you know, feel like I shouldn't be spending money on something that I know that I should be spending money on, if that makes any sense. So a lot of these things, like, you know, diapers, that's something you have to spend money on. Some things you don't need to. Like not everybody has a vacation fund, but I like to put money aside for it again because I know eventually we're going to go on vacations. If we put money aside and it's in our sinking funds, it doesn't feel like such a blow when the time actually comes and you have like a $2,000 vacation. Who knows if that's ever going to happen? I don't know when we're going to go on vacation because we still have like a little toddler and I'm like terrified of flying with her again, but anyway, those are our sinking funds. That's kind of a little rundown of what our sinking funds are, how I keep track of them. I hope you guys enjoyed this more chatty sinking fund video. Once in a while, I like to just kind of break things down for you guys and give you an idea of how I think of things and, you know, rationalization behind it. So anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed it and I will see you guys next time. Bye guys.
I've seen those faces, I've heard all the lies.